All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday morning. Anything happened this weekend? It's pretty incredible the times that we're living in. Last Monday morning, starting our solo Amazon brief, I jokingly started the brief the same way. I said, hey, kind of a boring weekend, right? Because the Republican nominee for president missed having his head blown off by about 2 millimeters. Here I am a week later asking the same question dryly. Anything happen over the weekend? The past 3 weeks have been some of the craziest I've seen in my 55 years on this planet. Just absolute insanity in this country. It's sad. It's awful. We're going to get into all of this and what it means for markets and how you can potentially make money. I weep for our country. It's just an absolute disgrace. We're going to get into all this all week. But just starting with, man, can it get any crazier? Which I'll be honest with you, as an options trader, I absolutely love. I love volatility, man. I love people panicking. You know, jokingly, I tell people I'm bipolar because as Wiz, as an American, as somebody who's served this country, it's awful. But as Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, you want a friend, get a dog. I love it. I made $2.3 million in a couple weeks during the COVID crash. Absolutely love panic. I was about to say I love blood in the streets, but I think today I don't even want to use terms like that, right? Anyway, welcome aboard. Let's get that out of the way. Full throttle. So once a quarter, I open up the doors to my trading squadron, and I let the folks walk around. Once I kind of knock out my little intro here, I'm going to treat you like you're currently a member. Now, some of you might not know what an option is, you know, or TOPGUN options and stuff like that. I'll kind of get you up to speed as quickly as I can, but the best way is to take a look around with what you're doing. Real quick though, let's do a couple polls so I can let me gauge where we are. Let's start with that one. As people scroll into the briefing room here, remember a 10 a.m. brief starts at what time? 10 a.m. It doesn't start at 10:01. It doesn't start at 10:05, right? How familiar remember, if you had a 10 a.m. brief in the squadron and you weren't cheeks and seats 15 minutes prior, you failed. If you're not in that brief ready to go, 10 o'clock is when the guy or the gal starts talking, not when you show up. If you didn't make it to a brief on time, the door was locked. How can I expect you to put a bomb through a window plus or minus 2 seconds when you can't make it to the brief on time? So somebody else is sitting in your seat. So how familiar are you with TOPGUN options? I'm not. Somewhat. Yes. Not a member yet. 59, 60%. Okay. All right. A couple more seconds. About half of you have voted. Not sure what the other half of you are doing. So when we're in a brief, we pay attention to the brief, right? Okay. Let me go ahead and close that and share that. So good. All right. So about 43 are not, or somewhat, which is good. That really helps me out. So I can kind of gauge where we are with this. Let's do one more here. Let's launch this one. For the folks, well, I mean, my members, I know what your answer is going to be. What's your current options knowledge? Okay. Options knowledge, not stocks, not Forex, not treasuries, not, Bitcoin, crypto. What is your current options knowledge? And don't be afraid to say, what's an option? I have no idea what an option is, because at TOPGUN options, I'm going to get you up to speed with what they are and how you can profit. What's an option? I do basic calls, puts, or covered calls. I trade spreads, or I'm an options Jedi, right? And those people, just like the motto of TOPGUN, you think you're good, I'll make you better. I guarantee you. What's an option? basic calls and puts, spreads, options, Jedi. Okay. Learning mode, awesome. That's great. That's exactly what we do here at Top Gun Options. You should be in learning mode. All right, a couple more seconds, just like I did last time. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, about 24% basic and stuff, 64, and okay, good. That helps me immensely as well. Okay, folks, brief intro. What do you need to trade successfully? I don't care if you're an options Jedi or you don't even know what an option is. You need 3 things to trade successfully. How do I know that? I'm a very successful trader. We can take a look at my track record, all that stuff. I'm not here to blow sunshine, but I know you need 3 things. The first thing you need is solid training. So Tom just wrote, hey, I'm in learning mode. That's what we do. We take what I call a building block approach here at Top Gun Options. And last week, we did options weapons school. So when you join today, tomorrow, or sometime this week, the first thing you're going to do is go to your membership area, download your workbooks, right? Your primary, intermediate, advanced workbook. And then you're going to sit there and start watching options weapons school sessions 1 through 6. Here's where I gather my intelligence. Here's the basics of investing. Here's my trade plan. Here's options, just the basics of options. And then, folks, we take a building block approach the rest of the week. I just wrapped this up last week. These are fresh. These are current. You are good to go. So what do you need to be a successful trader, investor? Training, solid training. And we take a building block approach. I don't care if you're a Jedi Master or you're brand new, you start with Options Weapon School Session 1 and you go up to 6. And I guarantee you in the 8 hours-ish, 7, 8 hours of the training, you're good to go. Then what do you need? You need to have a tight plan. Go over to the materials tab over here on the right, or it says handouts. Over on the right side of this control panel and go to webinar, there's an area that says handouts. You need to download that trade plan. Okay. It is a 1-page trade plan, and I review that in session 1 of Options Weapons School. I'm going to step through it in that video, and you're going to, wow, okay, I have a trade plan. Many of you, I used to be you folks, a long time ago. Go to a lecture with some cheesy dude with a Bolex and a cheap suit. Everybody needs a trade with a trade plan. All right, moving on. What's your trade plan? I need it. Well, I don't have one. I have one. Used it flying Hornets and running a multi-billion-dollar Wall Street firm. Finally, after you're trained and you got your plan, you need to practically apply that stuff in here. This is why it's during the day right now. We're in a live trade brief. I got the S&P 500 over here. We're going to talk about Bank of America, the S&P 500, Amazon. We are going to practically apply what you learn in your training. Okay, so I guarantee you these are the 3 things you need. How do I know? Like I just said, I've been you, man. I was a self-taught retail trader, young lieutenant. I actually had to go to a library, man. Before Al Gore invented the internet, I had to read books on investing and options, right? So I went from that to essentially running a multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm headquartered in the Chicago Board of Trade. So I've been you folks, okay? Like I said, last week, we wrapped up Options Weapons School, July 2024, man. These 6 sessions are priceless. They are worth their weight in gold. Okay, let me cover the flight schedule for the week real quick. And as you're going through the whole week, the same link that you used to get in here today is the same link for the rest of the week, okay? I think GoToWebinar sends out an email reminder about an hour before. It's the same link, folks. So you don't freak out about it. It's the same link to get in for the whole week. So today, I'm going to do a quick welcome aboard, some investing basics, and then for my current members, we're going to get in and we're going to review some stuff. Perfect timing by Wiz getting long-term bullish on Bank of America because Warren Buffett just bailed on about $1 billion worth of it. So we'll laugh and we'll look at that but the guy owns $1 billion of Bank of America. We're going to take a look at Amazon and what happened with Amazon Prime last week. And we're going to place an actionable trade on the complete shit show that's going on in Washington and what I think is going to happen in the market. And we're going to talk about the Fed and what's going to happen most likely in September in a couple months. Okay, so welcome aboard Investing Basics Trading. I'm going to open. I rarely do this, but I've already got some pre-interest of people who want to join early. So I'm not even going to call it early. I'm going to start opening memberships at the end of today's brief. We only take 50. Do not be 51 because you won't get a chance. Okay, 50 annual memberships and then some monthlies if people are still interested. Tuesday, going to look at some options basics. Wednesday, some spread. And then Thursday, you do not want to miss. We're going to talk about investing to save and change lives. What? Yeah, you heard me. We're going to take a look at a sector, the only sector I am bullish on for the rest of my life. And you're going to love it. Okay, let's get airborne. Quick reminder, 90% of trading is emotional. How many of you woke up this morning? Hopefully you woke up this morning because you're in a brief with some gratitude. Hey man, I woke up this morning. I have a roof over my head, maybe a loving family around. If not, you still woke up today. How many of you said thanks to something? To your dog, to your spouse, to your God, to the universe, to the trees outside? Be grateful. Something put you here, whether it's the universe or some sort of God that you believe in. Practice gratitude. If you woke up this morning and said, I can't wait for this full throttle program, man. I need to make money. Well, I get it, folks. How about not coming from a place of lack? I need, I want. How about I am thankful for everything that I have right now? I have an internet. I'm on a live trade brief. Man, things are good. I would like to make some money. Need comes from a place of lack, right? So always remember 90% of trading is emotional. Here at TOPGUN Options with our trade plans, our SOPs, our standard operating procedures, I'm going to take the emotion out of your trading. That's where retail traders fail. They are way too emotional. I get it. Okay, real quick, we laughed. Last year was comical for hedge. Take a look at hedge funds. You ever been at a cocktail party when you're like, I wish I was in a hedge fund. Oh yeah, I'm in a hedge fund. Ooh, yeah. Well, I remember being down here in South Florida where everybody, oh, you're not with Bernie. I'm with Madoff. Oh, that was fantastic, wasn't it? Hedge funds, folks, 10% a year, 11% a year, 10% a year, 8%. Last year, 9%, the average hedge fund. I could find that in my couch. Here's my personal return last year. You can go on our homepage and download my E-Trade and see all of this. 151% return last year. The Dow was an embarrassing 10%. You could have beat most hedge fund managers by investing simply in a Dow index fund. The NASDAQ, a respectable 38%. S&P, 20%. Wiz, 151. When did my performance really take off? When the shit hit the fan in the fall and summer. Like I said, as Wiz, I don't love blood in the streets. But as Gordon Gekko, Wiz, or Jordan Belfort, I love blood in the streets. Year to date, we can ripple through some of this stuff. I'll show you live when we're in the briefs. We're absolutely crushing it. We're on pace to make last year look embarrassing. So I'm loving where we are. All right, real quick. Let's go ahead and quick review. Like I said, dedicate the time to be in here. Turn off your cell phone, no distractions, electronic nicotine. Let's stay focused because after this quick welcome aboard, we're going to get in the market and get training. My mission objective, I don't start any brief or any mission without an objective, clear, measurable, achievable. I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief. Absolute insanity what's going on in Washington, D.C. You saw a coup this weekend. You saw, in actuality, an insurrection and a coup. Has anybody seen Joe Biden? It was on stationery. And oh, by the way, if you compare the signature on his I'm not running again letter, it looks nothing like any signature he's had for 55 years, which is pretty interesting. I would love to see a picture of Joe Biden with today's Wall Street Journal to make sure the dude is alive. It's absolute insanity what's going on. The party that's running to save democracy just upended it completely, and they're going to anoint a successor. So what's it have to do with trading? Everything. By the end of this week, you're going to know how to trade options, and you're going to see how I trade options, and it's going to be awesome. How to turn panic into profit. It's not going to be all doom and gloom, man. I'm going to show you my picks, what I'm trading, and I'm going to show you the names. I'm going to show you, especially later in the week, how you can save and change lives with many of these names. I'm not going to sell you anything, man. You're going to buy something if you want. Like I said, I'm not doing 122 PowerPoint slides, death by PowerPoint. You want that? You can go somewhere else with people showing you trades they did 5 years ago. We're going to trade live in the market. You're going to buy if you want. And if you don't, that's great too. Admin, you're in GoToWebinar. What you're looking at me with has a little camera at the top. Just click that camera to take a screenshot of what's going on the screen. So you don't, if you want to take notes and everything like that, that's great, but don't worry about it. There is an icon right there that you can take a screenshot, okay? Replay page. Let me give you the replay page right now. If you come in late, you can't make it tomorrow, you missed the Thursday session, I got your 6 covered. Here is the replay page. Now, you are in the first brief, so the replay page has one video on it, so it doesn't look stupid, which is the last session one from, I think, the last quarter. So, don't go on here right now. You're in the brief. So, but this will be the replay page, okay? Little flight schedules over on the right there, and then the purchase how to get airborne with what we do here is kind of at the bottom, which I will cover at the end. But there's the replay page. Bookmark it and make it stick right there. That's where everything's going to be posted all week. Okay. And like I said, 50 memberships I'm going to open towards the end here. I'm going to cover investing to save lives on Thursday. I'm going to also cover Solo Amazon. Solo Amazon is a gateway drug to join TOPGUN options. It's $97 a month for the rest of your life if you don't want to upgrade into an annual and save 2 months. And we only trade Amazon. It's good, right? Shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. So Solo Amazon's a vehicle for eating TOPGUN options. It's not part of Full Throttle, what we're doing this week, but towards the end of the week, if you're like, I really love to join, but fill in the blank, why? Do Solo Amazon, man. $97 a month. Okay. All right, real quick. Some of you said, I have no idea who you are. Welcome aboard. Hopefully that means our social media and our advertising and the word is getting out there, or a friend told you. Real quick, folks, I'm Wiz. You can call me Wiz. My parents did love me last time I checked. They didn't name me that. I earned that as a call sign flying the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for about 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School that you all call TOPGUN, where I was an adversary. I was a bad guy. In order to train our good guys and gals to be the best in the world, they need to fly against the best bad guys and gals in the world. And I was selected to be one of the good bad guys. Follow me? Savvy? Operation Southern Watch, Noble Eagle, and Enduring Freedom. 15 years. What's this have to do with investing? Everything. I joined the Navy 1991. Now I'm really aging myself. Went to Naval Air Station Key West in Florida. My beautiful bride kept Ann Taylor in business at the time, and I paid with my American Express bill. I'm like, you know what? I'm probably not going to make the Navy a career. Why don't I start investing for retirement? I bought my first mutual fund with USAA, $25, aggressive growth mutual fund. I'm young, I could be aggressive. Then I'm like, wait a minute. If she's doing that at Ann Taylor and I'm paying American Express, why don't I just buy those stocks on my own? Why do I need a manager that charges me fees? And that started for the rest of my life, my passion for investing. I took everything I learned as a fighter pilot and applied it to my trading with incredible results. Having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning. Before I got airborne, folks, I decided what I'm going to do if my engine fails or if I get shot at by a missile over Syria. Why? Because when one of those things happens, not if, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I made those decisions sitting on the aircraft carrier, sipping on my venti upside down caramel macchiato in the air conditioning. Okay? I applied it to my trading with incredible results. How did I start TOPGUN options? Well, unfortunately, it was a tragedy. Morning of 9/11, scheduled for my first flight as a pilot for American Airlines. Getting ready to fly from DFW to Miami and then Miami to Cancun. Wife told me somebody hit the World Trade Center with an airplane. I'm like, that ain't a small airplane, and it's clear weather. Saw the second plane hit, raced out to Naval Air Station Fort Worth, ran next door, hanging out with the F-16 guys, 4 F-16 guys, 2 F-18 guys, me and a buddy, briefing to get airborne as the Pentagon gets hit. Absolute surreal moment. So I went from potentially flying in an airliner that day to shooting one down, maybe even shooting down a squadron mate. Most of the guys in my reserve squadron were airborne that day on airline trips. So in the blink of an eye, not a blink of an eye, about a week later, I got a photocopied letter from American Airlines that said I was furloughed. I had a young bride, what little money I had saved, went to a down deposit on a home, our first home, and a little boy. And all that stuff was gone. Hey, man, I gave myself about a half a day to feel sorry for myself. When I sat there and watched TV and saw people at ground zero looking for their husbands or their wives or their dad, I'm like, dude, get over yourself. Get up. You don't have it that bad. Find some gratitude, man. You're alive. So I started trading full time. I had to pay my mortgage. I had to eat. And also, thankfully, my reserve squadron got mobilized for Operation Iraqi Freedom. So I became a reserve bum. I could full-time reserve and paid the bills. But I had to get serious. I got serious about trading. And I got so serious and so good that I popped up on the radar of this firm right here. If you've seen Batman, you know this building. It's the Chicago Board of Trade. You see these big windows? That was my trading firm, headquartered in the CBOT. That's it, man. I helped build a hedge fund over there. That's our research desk. There's our traders. Over here was tech. Up here was our boardroom and our finance and all sorts of stuff. Man, it was incredible. I went, from living on the streets, so to speak, to helping manage a $2.5 billion volatility arbitrage firm. And I jokingly tell people I was, Valentine in trading places. And I got to be honest with you, folks, the smart money ain't that smart. Most of the smart money are stupid people. How many of you remember, what happened during the COVID crash, right? Do you remember what happened during the COVID crash? I wrote a book about it. I remember because I made a ton of Top Gun options members into millionaires. What happened during the COVID crash? Kyle Bass, Bill Ackman, all the Cash is Trash, all these guys. You remember one of them was crying on CNBC the one day, like, we need to close the markets, because the markets were going thousands of points down. No, Chief. I know how to trade options. I am printing money. Do you remember Donald Trump? I saved the tweet that he deleted. Stocks are looking good here. I'd be a buyer of stocks. The Dow went down 3,000 points the next day. I think I made $75,000 on that trade. That's the smart money, folks. They were telling you the whole way down as the market was imploding. Oh, this is the bottom. Oh, I'd be a buyer here. Misery loves company. They were without a doubt the dumbest people in the world. So I always laugh when I watch CNBC or Fox Business News. Up next, legendary investor. I'm like, excuse me? That dude was an idiot. But, whatever. So smart money ain't that smart, folks. Wrote a book about it. And then I'm like, you know what? I can do this on my own. No offense to anybody who lives in Chicago. You can keep it, especially nowadays. It's a war zone. But back then, I'm a beach guy. I'm a Navy guy. I need sun, sand, and warmth. So I moved down here to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton in 2009, 10, and I started Top Gun Options. What else do I do real quick? I have one of the top ranked podcasts in the world. It's called the Max Afterburner Podcast with No Fallen Heroes. Go check it out. What do I talk about? This is my passion project. Besides waking up and trading and helping you all out, I started a 501c3 a couple years ago to try and save and change the lives of our nation's veterans, first responders, and their family members. How? Psychedelic assisted therapy. That's a long conversation. We're going to talk about it later in the week. And that, in case you didn't know, is the only sector I am absolutely bullish on. You're not bullish on the tech sector? The tech sector is about to have, starting to, a massive tech wreck. this is the only sector where I am deploying capital and I am long-term bullish. Final thing, this is why is this an old picture of me? I love this picture. This is us leaving Chicago to head down here and do it on our own. He is 24. He's in the Florida Air National Guard. He wants to fly F-35s. He's going into a sophomore year at Colorado, and that's my beautiful daughter, Keely, who's going on 29. She's a cheerleader down here in Boca Raton, and obviously my beautiful bride, Susie. Any questions, concerns, oh, by the ways, about my background? Top Gun Options, 13 years, 10,000 investors, all skill levels, folks. Jedis to people who don't even know how to spell the word options. We also have 2 investment clubs here, Max Afterburner and the Hunters. Over here on the training side, we have Solo Amazon, which we'll talk about later in the week, and we have Full Throttle. You're sitting in Full Throttle right now. Once you kind of figure out that you know what you're doing and you're ready to put real capital at risk, we have a couple investment clubs, the Hunters and Max Afterburner. Okay. Over here on Full Throttle, Solo Amazon, we have 8 training sessions and we have the live trade briefs. Okay. So you're kind of living over in here this week. And actually I need to change that at 6 because 2 of the sessions didn't make sense. They were kind of part of other ones. So I squeezed them together last week. So it's 6 training sessions. So I can go ahead and update. So, okay. You bet, Tom. It was an honor to serve. That's our training overview. I just showed you the options weapons school sessions. And this is kind of our weekly flight schedule here. Remember, Solo Amazon is not included in Full Throttle. Okay. All right. Case studies real quick. If you want to go, you can go to Trustpilot and check us out. I think we have almost a perfect rating on Trustpilot. Some dude years ago didn't like my politics and went and complained on Trustpilot. That's fine, dude. If I didn't trade what I believed, I'd be broke. There are some people who are like, dude, I can't stand your politics, but you print money. I'm like, yeah, you think? So there's our case studies. And then I think we're good to go, man. Let's get in the market here. We are. Any questions about who I am, what we need to do? I love your politics. Thanks, man. Some people do, some people don't. It doesn't matter, folks. It's all about potentially making money. All right, live trade brief. That's the last time that was 27 minutes. That wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and get airborne. This is just embarrassing. How the bet on an 81-year-old Joe Biden turned into an epic miscalculation. So you have a trading program and an investment program. Claudio, you bet. So Full Throttle is all our training. We're in our live trade briefs right now. We have Options Weapon School where you learn stuff. And then if you want, you can join one of our investment clubs, which is called Max Afterburner or the Hunters. I post, and real quick, here is the intel and commentary thread where I post all of my intel and my commentary and stuff like that. And then over here, we put trade alerts. This is where I post trades. So we have an app on your phone. It's called Collab. And so we have 2 sides of the fence. Okay. Edward, how much one-on-one trade reviews is part of the program or new trades text or email to you? Edward, great question. So that's what I'm getting at right now. So in this brief today, like if you logged in a little early, you saw that I posted this new bull put spread. That's looking pretty good right now over here on my other screen. You download an app. It's called Collab, and you get alerts throughout the day whenever I'm posting something. When I post a trade, I open one or close it. Everything's posted on the app. So you get instantaneous notification. You bet. And to your one-on-one question, I'm in here throughout the day in these trade groups. So if you have a question, you just ask it in here. Hey, Wiz, I got a question on this. Like this trade that I just posted, get in here and post a question like, hey, Wiz, question on this trade, or I have a question in general. So I'm in here throughout the day. I don't sit here and trade all day, folks. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. I live. I do a live trade brief for about an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm done. But if I'm at the gym, I'm at the beach, I'm getting ready to go fly my fighter jet, I'm on this app throughout the day. I've been at the hold short getting ready to take off before and been like, hey, there's a good looking trade. Let me drop this one in here real quick. So this is not your father and mother stock market or training program. This is mobile. We got, I think last time I checked, like 36 countries, man. We have like I think a couple people in China. I know we have Australia. We got Graham and a bunch of folks in Australia. We have people literally from around the world trading. Over here, the Max Afterburner group is the lifetime membership. You can email me about the lifetime membership. It's a larger investment, but we'll talk about getting started over here. But if you're definitely interested in going right to the lifetime membership, just shoot me an email, Wiz, W-H-I-Z, at topgunoptions.com. Okay. All right. Any other admin questions before we get going? All right. So the politics of this, folks, is absolute insanity. But since for the sake of time, we're gonna press forward here. Remember, and for those of you who didn't get to watch some of the options weapon school sessions from last week, let me give you 3 of the replays. I'll give you these 3 free. Okay, this is session 1 from last 2 weeks ago. This is session 2, and then that's session 3. The rest of them you gotta join and pay for. Why am I bringing that up? Because in session 1, I talk about our trading methodology, right? How I do a live trade brief. How I'm going to do this live trade brief right now is covered in that session 1, and it's called SOT. 5-10 minutes, I'm going to give a strategic brief. What's going on around the globe, because it impacts your portfolio. I guarantee you. Operationally, what's going on in the United States with earnings, with the Federal Reserve, with what's going on in Washington. And then T, trade, tactical. Towards the end of the brief, I will set up the trades. So if you come into one of my live trade briefs, and I'm talking about what's going on with the Houthis in Iran, and you're like, what's this have to do with trading, and where's the trade? I'm going to throw you out of the room because you have no idea what you're doing. SOT, strategic, operational, and then we can get tactical. Do not come into a brief going, hey, I need trades immediately. You're a very tactical trader and you're miserable. You're going to burn out, or you're going to blow out your portfolio. I guarantee you. Okay. Yeah, but shoot me an email if you're interested in the max after the lifetime. It's an investment. All right. Distraction. Secretary of State. This was days before the president decided to bow out in a coup. Blinken says Iran just 1 to 2 awakes from producing material for a nuclear weapon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a live trade brief right now on July 22nd of 2024. There is war in Europe. Russia is actually at war right now with technically Eastern Europe. There is war in the Middle East. Israel has been attacked by Iran. They launched like 300 cruise missiles months ago. I can't believe I'm in a live trade brief right now. If you took me from the Board of Trade, 2006 Wiz, a little more hair, a little chubbier. If you drop 2006 or 7 Wiz into this brief, and he just heard Russia's at war in Europe, and there's war between Israel and Iran, I would immediately do what? I would go, holy crap. The VIX, the volatility index, has to be at like 90. Ladies and gentlemen, the VIX, the volatility index, the uncertainty index, barely is registering anything. Why? Because it's known. The VIX, let's go open it up to 5 years. The last time the VIX had a massive spike, folks, look at that. That was the COVID scandemic. The VIX went up to 90. Now what's going on? The VIX is a heart rate monitor, folks. It pops when people freak out, and then it implodes. Look at what's going on now, folks. Periods of extended low volatility. This is absolute insanity. Again, if you took somebody from the old stock market and dropped them into this one and said, folks, what's the VIX at? They would freak out. Absolute insanity. And I was about to say it's funny. It's not funny. Why? Because the VIX is like, yeah, Wiz, you ain't briefing me anything new. The world is at war. China is most likely going to invade Taiwan, taking over 70-80% of the semiconductors in the world. That should be great for the market. The president of the United States is an invalid. If you can't run for re-election, how are you the sitting president right now? The VIX, it's down 6% today. We are living in absolute insane times. So when I see headlines like this, you know what? Netanyahu and Israel really don't give a shit about us, to be honest with you. They care about what? Did you see what happened the other day? So the Houthis and the Blowfish have been lobbing missiles into Israel. One hit Tel Aviv a couple days ago, almost hit the United States consulate. Maybe that was the target. We haven't heard a word about it in the media. That's why you're in a live trade brief, because I'm going to brief you on these things. This phone is priceless to me. My network in the Pentagon, Capitol Hill, hedge funds in Chicago, New York, Hong Kong. I know what's going on, folks. Israel went apeshit and attacked Yemen, blew up a port, blew up shipping. This thing, I'm going to end this part of the brief really quick. You ready for this? It's going to get worse. If you believe this headline, Iran is a couple weeks away from enough material for a nuke. If you're Israel and you read that headline, what do? It is a matter of when, not if, Israel fully goes after Iran's nuke program. Why do you care about this? Do you care that oil goes up to 150 to 200 a barrel? What do you think the stock market will do? What do you think the VIX will do? So this is on the back burner. Of course, our country's freaking out about Kamala and Joe and Trump and everything right now. You need to know these things are going on in the background. It's incredible to me because 8 months ago, our Secretary of Defense, Joe Biden, called the black guy last week. The black guy, Operation Prosperity Garden, was supposed to keep the Red Sea open from these Houthi, the dudes in Toyota pickup trucks with machine guns and flip-flops, attacking shipping in the Red Sea. You know what we've done? Nothing. They're sinking tankers on a daily basis. Do you know why this is going on? We don't attack where the drones are being launched from. We don't attack where the dudes are flying the drones and controlling them. We don't attack where they're being offloaded in the port. This is like North Vietnam, folks. This is LBJ bullshit. Why? Because Kamala and Joe don't want to escalate against Iran, even though they're doing all of this. This will impact the stock market. I guarantee you it's coming. There you go. U.S. launches effort to stop Russia from arming the Houthis with anti-ship missiles. Oh, that's great. A U.S. commander sent confidential letter warning that the U.S. is failing to deter the Reds. Oh, you think? You think? So, ladies and gentlemen, now it turns out that Vlad is going to give the Houthis, like, no shit, anti-shipping missiles. Weakness invites aggression. Israeli jets strike Houthi targets in Yemen after the Tel Aviv attack. We already talked about that. Let's move on. Stocks, bonds, yields advance with return of the Trump trade. You are looking at one of the only guys in the country who got 2016 and 2020 right. A couple days before 2016 election, the New York Times front page said 94% probability Hillary would win, 6% Trump would win. And God forbid if Donald Trump wins, the stock market will implode. New York Times. Wiz, that's a lie. Not only will Trump win, the stock market will rally. Nailed it. 2020 Wiz prediction. Trump will win on election night and he will lose in the next day or coming weeks. Nailed it. You want to know what my prediction is right now? Some of you aren't going to like it. Donald Trump will not win. Period. There is a 3 to 5% margin of cheating. 10 million new people in this country, mail-in ballots, drop boxes. There is a margin of, he was up slightly against Joe to even, and he lost. Unless he's up 50 points in the polls, Donald Trump will not win. People, the cabal that run this country will not let that happen. I guarantee you. Now, I know that's not going to go over well with people. Reg, because of this. Reg is like, how'd you know the election outcome of 2020? Because I knew exactly. I'm like, these people will do anything to get power. I said he will win election night and then watch over the coming days. They will stuff ballot boxes and dead bodies and voting and stuff like that. He'll probably lose over the coming days and week. I nailed it. I said that on 5 separate trade briefs. I can send you the links to, man. So I nailed it. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. Because what is going to happen between now and the election? John, I want to be wrong. Catherine, there'll be a national revolt. Nothing will happen. There are people in this country that are allowed to talk and nothing will happen. These people, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, want to stay in power. They will do anything to stay in power. Indict, bankrupt, assassinate. You think this is beneath them? Again, folks, I want to be wrong. I have not been wrong on any of this stuff to date. I tell you when I make a prediction and then I'll put a comma after it and go, I want to be wrong. I can't stand Donald Trump personally, folks. I can't stand the dude. Some of the policies I support. Out of the presidential candidates, RFK is the only presidential candidate who supports psychedelic assisted therapy for veterans. If I was a single issue voter, I'd be voting for RFK. Anyway, folks, here's my point. The BLS, folks, Biden, it doesn't stand for Bureau of Labor Statistics. It stands for Biden Labor Statistics. Have you seen these headlines? Milder inflation opens door wider to September rate cut. What? Haven't you seen the gaslighting for the past year? The economy's great. Everything's great. If it's not great for you, Wiz, you're the problem. Breaking news, inflation is, we're doing a great job on inflation. Did you see me at the grocery store today? Who's doing a great job with inflation? You're being lied to. The September before Barack Obama's reelection, the jobs number print was insanely good. When it came out that morning in a live trade brief, I said it was a lie. Jack Welch, the CEO of GE, was on CNBC about 2 minutes after I said it. He goes, that's Rick Santelli was like, I've never seen anything like that. I said it's a lie. Guess what happened? Inspector General report, a year and a half later, turned out it was a lie. 85 of the 100 BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics economists, were donors to the Obama campaign. If you think you're going to hear any negative macroeconomic data between now and the election, you're a fool. It doesn't matter what you're living in, raging inflation. It's what the narrative is. Okay. Yep. Look at that. What did I tell you? That bull puts, if you logged in early, you saw I put on that bull put spread and the market sold off a little bit today. Or let's go back. Hello. There we go. Look at that. Look at that rally. Boom. To the moon, Alice. All right. A little bit more. Powell signals rate cut coming into view, but declines to say when. You got it, Trevor. That's where I'm going to land right now. Tech shares log worst day of 2024. A stock market rotation of historic proportions is taking shape. Be wary of the tech stocks. We're going to talk more about this as we go on, but I want to get tactical here in a little bit. We put on a bullish long-term synthetic stock trade last week on Bank of America. This morning, Warren Buffett. I'm trimming some shares in, well, folks, take a look at Bank of America. Have you seen look at a one-year chart of Bank of America. Look at this monster run. Warren Buffett would be a fool not to take a little off the table. What is that? A 77% since November run. That is a monster run. I could not be more long-term bullish on Bank of America. Make sure you watch, you become a member, but go watch the replay from last week when we got long-term bullish on Bank of America, okay? He still owns, you ready for this? Where is it? It's number 2 behind Apple with him. 999 million shares, 43 billion. So selling a little bit of it on Friday, folks, to take some off the table is brilliant. I said do that. Any of these things, Nvidia, any of the tech names that we've seen monster profits in, take some off the table, dude. Look at this S&P 500 run. 9 months. Jerome Powell right here, right there, folks, in December said what? I'm thinking of maybe cutting maybe a couple rate cuts next year. The market hasn't looked back. We had a little profit taking here. We called the whiz, the W right there. Rip your face off rally, little profit taken, rip your face off rally continues. I have told you repeatedly, copy that and paste it over here. And that's exactly what has happened. Okay. So I could not be more bearish on the underlying innards of we'll talk about Amazon probably on Thursday. So right now, folks, in case you don't know, technically Mondays at 10 a.m. are solo Amazon, but since it's a full throttle week, I booted it out to Thursday. But we'll debrief Amazon on Thursday. Okay, so so we did strategic. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. Operational, it's all Jerome Powell and the Fed and the election, folks. Kamala Harris is going to be, and the media enablers are going to be what? Wow, this economy's great. We're beating inflation. Everything's awesome. Jobs are strong. And if you don't believe any of those things, you're the problem. The gaslighting is insane. I go to parties, I shop, I meet people. Ain't nobody in this country having a good time, except us here at TOPGUN Options because we're printing money. But most people, folks, are struggling. Unemployment is at record highs for the government. When you dig into the payroll numbers, it's either the government or illegal immigrants or people who are Americans having 5 jobs to make ends meet. The jobs numbers are awful. Did you not see weeks ago, a month ago, when Jerome Powell did his last press conference? He admitted the jobs numbers are fudged or manipulated. Did you see that? Unbelievable. The jobs report will lead to continuing controversy. So the guy more or less said, yeah, they're probably not honest. I couldn't believe that. If Donald Trump, a Republican, was president and the Fed chief admitted that the jobs numbers are most likely, it would be, they would have impeached him for the 9th time. Now, let's get tactical and start trading. Ladies and gentlemen, there is not one person in this room that makes money over here. That's why sometimes I laugh at people who only do technical analysis. Folks, you make money here in the white. Nobody in this room is allowed to trade off the left side of a chart. Can you make money over there? I'd love to send me your broker's info if you can trade over here. We have to project our thoughts forward in space and time and do what? And use our brains. Out here, ladies and gentlemen, most likely the September probability for a rate cut is like in the mid 90s. The futures market is pricing in a rate cut in September, period. So before we get tactical and trade right now, this happened when Jerome Powell right here said, I think we're going to cut rates sometime next year. Sometime next year, dude, it's July. July's almost over with. So I think we're probably going to get one in September, maybe one in November, and an end of year dece. Here's a risk to this trade that I'm about to show you. Right now, folks, and there's throughout the week, you're going to learn some things called whizisms. There's a whizism. Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's why a lot of retail traders get frustrated. Wiz, I traded earnings on this one name and it destroyed it. It had the best earnings in the world. The stock sold off. Buy the rumor, sell the news. It's a Wall Street-ism. It's a whizism because it's a thing. Is there a possibility that when, not if, Jerome Powell finally starts cutting rates, the market sells off? Yeah, there is. There's a distinct possibility. However, if anything, it would be just profit taking. It wouldn't be anything fundamental. Like, I can't believe he's cutting rates. That's bad. Here's another wizism. You ready? When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. Interest rates have been high for a long time. Look at the market. Let's open it up, 2 years or something. I mean, folks, interest rates have been high. That was an old Wall Streetism, and it makes sense. Interest rates are high. Money costs a lot. Companies can't hire, they can't expand, they can't take out loans, or the cost of capital, the cost of carry goes through the roof. When interest rates are low, zero down mortgages. You're a waitress, here's a home loan for $600,000, right? But look at that. I am going to tell you, March of 2020 ended investing and capitalism as we know it. What happened? The morning of, what was it, March 22nd? I forget the exact date. It was the Thursday morning. You ready for this? 6 million out of work. That was the weekly, not the monthly. That was the weekly jobless claims number. 6 million. I'll never forget Rick Santelli. The guy turned white. This was COVID. I had made $2.3 million up until that point. When I saw that $6 million print, I'm like, my mouth started watering. I'm like, again, I'm Gordon Gekko, folks. That wasn't a whiz moment. I was mortified. Deep down, I'm like, oh my God, 6 million. And then I'm like, I was typing to my folks. I'm like, I was getting ready to place probably like $1 million bearish trade. And then what happened, folks? Everything ended. Everything changed. Jerome Powell dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon known to man. And I immediately deleted everything I was typing and put on some of the most bullish trades in my life. And I made another 300 grand those coming weeks, $2.5 million in a month. It's over with. Regular investing. I literally, folks, got my blue bin out of the garage, came into my home office, and I probably 30 to 40 books on investing and trading were recycled. They're gone. Why am I rambling about this? Because, folks, I was getting with the, hey, buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. Markets go up, folks. They want an excuse to go up. So when, not if, Jerome starts cutting, it's an even bigger excuse to keep the rally going. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to train you to be you're a tick, no offense. You're the trader in command. I flew a single seat F-18 Hornet. You're flying a single seat brokerage account. I'm in my airplane, you're in your airplane. We can fly formation and give each other mutual support, but I ain't reaching over into your cockpit and trading for you or grabbing your flight controls. You're the tick. As a single seat fighter pilot investor, we can do what in the blink of an eye? Get bearish. If or when, God forbid, something happens that's going to freak this market, it happens, folks. We'll be ready. In the blink of an eye, in a trade brief, or me sitting on the beach like, holy shit, that's going on. Let me enter that in the app and send that out to everybody. We can shift. I bring this up because if you've ever seen the Showtime episode or series Billions about Axe Capital, or let me just tell you what happened in Chicago, multi-billion-dollar firm. Oh, well, we're seeing this in the market and might make a big decision. Let's meet at 2 p.m. in the boardroom to talk about it. The investment committee. We have, 25 million in Apple shares. Let's all decide what we need to do with it. Folks, it took time. Big Wall Street firms, hedge funds, institutions, even large family offices, Stevie Cohen. So when or if something happens that's going to freak this market out, we're going to be fine. We'll eject from our bullish trades and pound the market into the dirt. And I'll tell you again, I love pounding the market into the dirt. I love blood in the streets. Everybody's a genius right now, folks, aren't you? I love it. I go to parties and people are like, I'm the stock market's going straight up. I'm like, yeah, they always do, and they never go down, right? Everybody's a genius when this is happening. And guess what people are when this type of stuff happens? They're not. So before I place this trade, I'm going to tell you I am ready. This is also why we did that strategic and operational brief. Many people forgot about the Brexit or when Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine or when world events happen. Holy shit, breaking news, and VIX pops or whatever. That's going to happen again, folks. Markets still care about stuff like that. God forbid. And like I'm telling you, Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't give a shit that I'm in a live trade brief right now. Does he give a shit about Iran potentially getting a nuke? Does he have a war plan drawn up right now to go attack all of Iran's nuclear facilities? Yeah. Do you think he cares that that might impact the S&P 500? No, he doesn't. So you have to know about these things in the background. That's why I give you the brief. And then we'll get tactical. All right, so let's go out to September. The Fed meeting is it's towards the beginning of the month. So let's hop in our fighter jet, our time machine on the S&P 500. I trade SPX. I don't trade SPY. You will find out in your trading. Let's go out to September 24. On my brokerage platform, eTrade, if you see a month and a day and a year, that is called a daily option or potentially a weekly option. On my eTrade platform, when you see a month and a year, that is the regular monthly option that expires. If none of that makes sense to you, join today. Go start watching your options weapon school sessions. Session 2 will get you up to speed immediately on everything I'm talking about. But this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we do OWS. So when I'm in a live trade brief right now, everybody sits here and goes, dude, you don't have to spend a lot of time going through this tactic. I already watched the training. I already watched session 2 with basics of calls and puts. I'm on it. So blast off. This is the practical application of the training. Okay. All right. So here we go. I believe, let's scroll up here. And I call it the circulatory system. There's the 20-day moving average in the green. There's the 50-day moving average in the blue. And then there's the 100 in the red. I believe, 50, what's that, 54.50? I believe 54.50 down here. That's a nice support level. It was a little resistance here, little support level. You're going to find out when I show you how to trade the S&P 500. It moves in $25 increments, folks. They're magnets. The round numbers are magnets. 5,500, 5,600, and the $25 increments are magnets. So I absolutely believe that that's probably support out here, at least through December. Couple ways you could play this. So through September out here, we already, this is a nice little pullback. Let me open up the chart a little bit. Look at what the left side of the chart, again, one more time, I kind of make fun of, but let's go with a 9-month chart here. Does anybody see a trend with the S&P 500? Bounce off the 20, bounce off the 20, bounce off the 20, bounce, bounce, close, profit taking, not hit the 20, not hit through it. What I'm saying is once this S&P for the past 9 months has hit some moving averages, if it's gone through it, what's happened? It's immediately snapped back up. At the open today, we were up a full percent. I think that's our snap up. This ain't some massive pullback. We're all going to die right now. This was a nice little technical pullback right here. I'm bullish. So when you join and you go watch your options weapon school session 1, after you join, After I give you the link here in a little bit. Over here on the right, folks, here's your trade plan and your OPCL, your options pocket checklist. You can download those right there. Because right now, I'm stepping through a trade plan. I'm just doing it from memory because I've been doing it for 30 years. You should have your trade plan printed out. It's right next to you so you can be writing all the stuff in. All right, let's go. So, step one, what's my strategic mindset? Bullish. Step two, what's my target? What am I trading? S&P 500. I trade SPX. I don't trade SPY. Why? Go watch the training. Step three, commit criteria. 3 to 5 solid sentences why I'm committing capital to this trade. Why am I placing this trade? I think I've already given you a lot more than 3 to 5 sentences, but it's the Fed. It's the Trump trade. It's the uncertainty around Joe, God forbid something happening to him before the end of his term. Uncertainty is kind of fading to the left side. Today, and for up until the election, will be risk on. You will not see a bad macro. Somebody tell me, anybody in this room thinks that the BLS, the Commerce Department, the Census Bureau is going to come out with some awful economic data between now and the election? I'll wait. Anybody in this room actually think that's going to happen? I'm not even going to wait for you to answer, because if you do, you're a fool. So the exact, a lot of people saying the exact opposite. So here we go. If you got it, Sebastian, if you believe, let's go back to the chart. If you believe, Wiz, I'm buying what you're selling, baby. I think the S&P is up here by September. What could you do? If you're new to options, the most basic thing you could do right now is what? You could buy some upside calls, right? Some what we call out of the money calls. Let's go look at that. Let's just do 20 strikes. I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to show you a little bit of a parlor trick. You ready for this? Right now, the S&P is trading at, let's just say 55.60, okay? The 55.60 strike is called at the money, right? The market, the S&P is at 55.60. That's the at the money strike. You got it. Look at how the puts are priced right now, $97. Look at the calls, 139. The calls are a lot more expensive than the puts. What does that automatically tell you as a normal human? The market, why is divorce expensive? It's worth it. Why are these calls expensive? The market is saying, Wiz, by September of 2024, 60 days from now, the S&P is pretty much freaking higher than it is right now. Because you got it, Chris, upside is expected. That's just using your brain. Now, if you want to know what the options, where's my pen? What the options market is forecasting, I would love to know by the third Friday in September what the options market thinks the S&P is going to be between. What range would it be in? You ready for this? If you click on the at the money straddle, it'll tell you. If you don't know what the at the money straddle is, welcome to Top Gun Options. Go watch the Options Weapon School training. Ladies and gentlemen, the options market is saying there's a 236 TP, an Elizabeth Warren TP. Let's go and double that, 236 times 2. So look at this TP. You see this right here? You see the green? The options market, folks, with a 70, let me just circle all this stuff, with a 71% probability is saying that the S&P is going to be between 53, let me write that down, round up, 53.25 to the downside. That's the left side of this TP right here. That's the lowest it'll be, the options market is saying. I'm not saying, I'm looking at price. The highest it's saying it's going to be to the right side of the TP is 57, I'll round up, 5,800. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you can drive a truck through that at the money straddle. It's huge. But that gives me a place to start. Why? Because, well, 5,800, Wiz, if you are new to options and you're listening to me going, yeah, I think the S&P is going to rip higher in front of the election for all the reasons Wiz said. Maybe you go look at buying a 58, let's scroll up here, 5,800 call. Scroll. 5,800 call. Okay. Wow. Buy one, 5,800 call. 3,300 bucks. Now remember, that's at the money straddle. So maybe you go a little bit higher. And I like the $50 or $25 increments. Maybe you go up to the 58.50 and see what that's priced at. All right, about 2,200 bucks. Now, if you're sitting here going, dude, that's a little expensive. 2,200 bucks is a little pricey. I will always tell you at Top Gun Options, be cheap. Have someone else help you pay for this. So let's go back over here. If you think, let me scroll down a little bit here. Here we go. If you think the S&P is going to rip higher, there's 5,800 somewhere up here. If you think the market's going to go up, what do you believe at the same time? It's not going to do this. If you believe the market is going to go up, you believe the exact opposite as well. It ain't going to go down. So why don't we do a tactic that you will learn in session 4 of Options Weapons School? Why don't we do a tactic called a bull put spread, which is essentially you're putting a basement, you're putting a floor. Wiz, the market ain't going below this point. That tactic that I'm going to show you is called a credit spread. You're going to get paid to do this trade. Let's take some of that credit and go buy that call. Instead of just being a kind of new options trader, like I'm just going to buy some calls. Ladies and gentlemen, when you buy a call option, it hates what? Theta, time decay. When you have a midlife crisis and you pull out of the dealership in a Ferrari, it depreciates immediately. I'd rather be who? The car dealer. I'd rather sell you your midlife crisis and make money. So what did I say earlier? The 54.50? Let's go look at the 54.50 bull put spread. All right, so we have these calls, the 58.50. Let's add option puts. And again, I go a little quick. Why? Because you did what? You already watched your training. 54.50. So we sell the 54.50 put, and let's buy a 54.25. Scroll. It's like me looking for my date of birth. Ladies and gentlemen, I just saved you what? About $1,000. $1,000. Okay. Now, real quick, let me delete it real quick and start here. Everybody in this room should know this. If you spend 2,200 bucks to buy this call option, what is your potential profit? It's to infinity and beyond. It's Buzz Lightyear, right? But we know between now and the Fed meeting, it ain't the market's not going to infinity. They just can't put a lid on it, right? So your profit is technically unlimited. What's the max potential loss? 2,200 bucks, man. Whatever you come out of pocket is the most you can lose. So 2,200 bucks. All right. Now let's add that bull put spread in again. Add option, put. Let me just build it real quick. 54.50, sorry, 54.50. And I might even go up about 25 bucks. Let me just look at this real quick. 54.50, 54.25. $54.25. Yep. There we go. 54.50, 50. And look at this. So it's $1,500 versus what was it? 2,300 bucks. So we saved about 700 bucks. Now, max potential profit, folks, is still infinite, but you had somebody else help pay for it, folks. 1,400 bucks to have potentially unlimited upside. On your screen right now, folks, and I'm going to take a screenshot of this to put it on the replay, is what I call a burner trade. Why? It's like me taking off in the Hornet, end of the runway, 400 knots, straight up. It's called a burner trade. Now, I don't want to lose some of the people that are a little newer to options. This is actually session 5, I think, of our options weapons school training. Look what I can do. You know what, Wiz? I don't need infinite profits, folks. I think something realistic would be it goes up to 5,900. I think the market maybe it goes up to 5,900. We could put a roof on it. Why don't we sell that 5,900 call on top of it? Ladies and gentlemen, now you're only coming out of pocket 140 bucks. What? Yeah. But what's your potential profit? Now it's limited. Instead of infinite, it's $5,000. Let me get this straight, Wiz. I'm only coming out of pocket 140 bucks. Let me go mid-market here. 130 bucks. I'm spending 130 bucks to be bullish through that Fed meeting where he's most likely going to cut rates and the market should rally, could sell off. Buy the rumor, sell the news. It's a risk. He briefed me on that. I acknowledge that risk. But man, I'm spending 125 bucks to potentially make, if you'll allow me to round up, $5,000. On your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a trade called a bullish double vertical. Just look at the picture. That's a bull put spread. That's a bull call spread. If you're new to options and you kind of hung in with me, I spend an hour in the options weapons school training going through double verticals right here. Options weapons school session 5. You take the hour and a half to go watch this training, you would have sat here and said, dude, I got that, man. So real quick, I'm going to talk about trade management in a second, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you this live. Here's how I send out the alerts. Let me grab a screenshot of this trade. SPX with today's date, 7/22. Yes, it's called a bullish double vertical. Some people, I've seen it like a vertical spread or weird stuff. I don't like repeating words. Like when people say, I need to go to the ATM machine. I'm like, you need to go to the ATM machine? Little things. 7/22 metric. All right, now watch. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go. My max afterburner, my elite lifetime people get all my trades first. Trade alerts. What's on your mind? New SPX Fed September bullish double vertical. At everyone. When I at everyone, everybody in the channel gets this alert. Grab the picture. Desktop. I'll answer questions in a second, folks. Let me get that. So there we go. There's the image. So there's the trade, and then I add a comment that has the metrics, right? So there's the metrics of the trade right there. Or risk metrics. Boom. On your app, you just got a little beep. Okay. Werner, absolutely. I'll talk about that in a second. I'm just doing one contract to show the basics. Over here to the hunters is kind of our junior lifetime club, right? New SPX. It's already in there. Here's the trade, or at everyone, sorry, at everyone. But Werner, you're right. Yeah, I'll answer that in a second. Let me just get this alert out to people. There it is. Publish. Risk metrics. All right. There we go. Werner brings up a good point. Look at that, folks. Let me just show you what good day, Graham. So Graham, my brother Graham, is one of our Aussies. Gonna be setting up some stuff down there. Look at that. Graham got the trade in Australia. Down under. There we go. Okay. But Werner brings up a good point. So folks, I usually, I started doing this. I start showing the one contract thing, folks. But I also can show you based on a $100,000 model portfolio that I manage. And I only usually have about $50,000 deployed in that at any one time. What would I do with a $100,000 total, but 50 grand I'm managing? I'd go up to about probably maybe 3 contracts. This is what Wiz would do today. Risking about 79 to make 15 grand. Okay. John, hey, Graham, how did you know election outcome? Or no, that's a different guy. John just said, who does Graham use as a broker from the UK? John is in the UK, Graham. Who do you use as a broker? Edward, you do. The Max Afterburner annual membership, you do get access to the hunters. I'm getting close to briefing you on that right now, but your immediate answer, yeah. If you do the $29.95, yes, you get those alerts. Absolutely. But let me brief you on that in a second. Okay. Any other questions on the trade here? Okay. This is a debit spread, folks. It's a debit spread, a little bit of a debit. You're coming out of pocket. All right. If you wanted to do 3 contracts, you'd be risking 2 I'd probably do around 2. Risking 52 to make about 10. That's my SOP, folks. In case you wanted to know, with a $100,000 model portfolio, I only risk on average 5% on any one trade. Why? That's me. 2.5 is a little low, 10's insane. 5% over 30 years of doing this is my comfort zone. If I take the max loss, I'm not going to get destroyed. It's going to leave a mark, but it's not going to destroy me. As we go through the week here, I will tell you what my individual SOP is, and you'll learn it. Okay. So, Trevor, good question. Let's start talking. So let's talk trade management, folks. Up here, the bull call spread. Let me go over to the chart here. The bull call spread is a debit spread. Okay, so we have a debit spread up here. It's a debit spread. It's a minus. Down here, we have a bull put spread. Okay. If this trade starts ripping higher, what spread would I close first? And I'm taking too much time to do this. You should be watching the double vertical training. But since you asked Trevor real quick, I would close the debit spread first if I'm seeing some nice profits. Why? I already told you, debit spreads don't like theta. They don't like time decay. I would close the debit spread and keep the credit spread because it likes theta. Okay. Now, the ejection point for the I'd let the bull call spread fly. I double the credit that I take in. That's where I would maybe eject from the bull put spread. Again, this is all in your spread trading. double the credit that I take in is when I would get out of the bull put spread. Where would I take profits? Good question, Edward. 7, 8, 9. If I am looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on the bull put spread, the credit spread, I close it. I do not want 100% profit. Pigs get slaughtered. Do not turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. It will make you miserable. So folks, I haven't even placed this trade yet, and I'm telling you when I'm going to be getting out. For the bull call spread, 50 to 100%. If I can make 50 to 100% on my money, folks, that's when I start thinking about exiting. Any north of 100% profit, now you're getting into pigville. Pigs get slaughtered. Haven't even placed the trade yet, and I know when I'm getting out of each individual spread and how I'm going to manage it. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Any more questions on that? Because we're short on time and people want to grab their memberships, which is awesome because we're only taking 50. Okay. So, and I'm glad somebody asked that, folks. If you want what you just saw on this screen, you have an app. Everybody gets the app. Everybody, you can watch your replays on here and everything's on the app. But the hunters and the max afterburner, which is lifetime, which is an investment and a little more significant. If you want access at a minimum to the, look at the hunters here, folks. There's a couple threads. There's the trade alerts, and you ready for this? That's only where you put trades. Ain't no commentary, ain't no funny posts, ain't no anything. It's all the trades. Because some people don't care about this channel. That's where I post my intel and commentary. Hey, Buffett trims his Bank of America position. Biden out. I posted that yesterday as soon as the minute it happened. You know, all sorts of stuff. This is some intel. This is you ready for it? Intel and commentary thread. This is where everybody puts their intel and commentary, folks. Okay. 98% rate chance. So there are two, and the announcements thread is kind of for me only. And, you know, like reminding people, keep the threads clean, meaning trades only in here, intel and commentary in here. Every once in a while, even I make the mistake, like, crap, I put that in the wrong thread. That's fine. But we just don't want it crowded, right? Because some people just, dude, I don't need any commentary, man. Just give me updates on trades. So that's why we have two threads in the hunters. Does everybody understand that? Okay. All right. Let me give you the link because we take 50 and that's it, man. Every quarter I do this. And it's funny when people email like, hey, the page ain't working. I'm like, that's because we have all our members. I'll see you next quarter. So scroll down to the bottom of this page. Let me just brief it real quick. The best deal, technically you're saving 50%, is the annual membership. It's $29.95, folks. I'm going to probably place a couple snipers today and make about $3,000 today when I get out of this brief. How am I going to do that? I'm going to be posting it all in here, folks. Okay. So the annual full throttle membership is the way to go. It is the best deal. You save 50%. Why? Because if you want to do the hunters monthly to try it out for a couple months, it's $497 a month. Why would you do that? Exactly. This over here, folks, is I want to access to all his full throttle stuff and the training, the options weapon school stuff, and the live thread. Only do this for a couple months if you want to check out the hunters. Why wouldn't you upgrade? Don't get me wrong. You can be in the hunters monthly for the rest of your life. That's great for me as a businessman. Now, as a wingman giving you mutual support, that's stupid. Do the annual membership. Okay. Over here on the left, folks, is the tire kicking. It's $295 a month. You get the training sessions, you get all these live trade briefs, you get everything. You just don't get access to the hunters. The annual and the hunters gets you into the hunters. Give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. Does everybody understand that? This is essentially, we don't have trials here, folks. This is a trial. You're getting a full week of trading, folks. Ain't no trials here. Like, hey, can I do? Yeah, you are. You're in a trial. And I'm not charging you for it. So $295 a month is if you're still wanting to kick the tires a little bit. Okay. Hang out there for a little bit if you want. That's where you're going to end up. I'd say about 95% of current Top Gun options members are in the Full Throttle annual membership. Okay. Any questions on that? This is tire kicking for the hunters. Do it for a couple months. This is tire kicking in general. And then this is for you're ready to get airborne. Any questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, for these people, the $295 right here, the monthly, you do have a forum. It's called the Ready Room. Let me go to that right now. This is your forum. Okay. It's the JB. Okay. So if you got any questions, concerns with me, you can get in here and ask me stuff. Okay. You can get in here, ask me stuff and everything like that. I think I was posting. Yeah, let me do that. Well, I'll do that when we're done. I think after the briefs, I was getting in here and posting the trades, but it's lower on my priority list. Steve, last year was about 110,000 bucks, which was a 127% return on risk for the solo Amazon service. We had a blast last year trading solo Amazon. But we can talk about that on Thursday. I'll give you, if you just want to join solo Amazon, I can give you that link on Thursday, but I'm not. We'll talk about solo Amazon later in the week. It's not part of this on your screen. It's a separate standalone service. So, but I love my Amazon, folks. It is the only stock besides what I'm going to tell you on Thursday that you need to own. I call it the Death Star. It's trading the Death Star. I'm actually starting to enroll. Where is it? Over here, Amazon Pharma. $5 a month, folks, for prescriptions. It's comical. They are the Death Star. They are taking over everything that they touch. I love me some Amazon. Look at that. Prime Day last week, 2 days, $14 billion. Love, love, love Amazon. So yeah, we'll talk more Amazon later in the week. But yeah, it was like 127% return, north of $100,000. Very, very good time. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. The annual is the way to go. The $29.95, folks. If you do the $29.95 right now, you're probably going to be in there immediately and see me start shooting some snipers. Because this is my mouth has been watering this whole brief because I'm looking over here on the left as the S&P's all over the place. I love shooting SPX trades. Claudio, what's VIP self-directed trade form and angel investment opportunity? How does these work? Claudio, shoot me an email. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. We have a bunch of different investment opportunities. Micro doses, healing REIT. So Steve, absolutely. Do you apply the same trade techniques in solo Amazon as you do with Full Throttle? Absolutely, Steve. Absolutely, absolutely. Full Throttle techniques are the same that I use in solo Amazon. The trade plans, the training, everything's the same, Steve, except we're just trading Amazon. Okay. That's the only difference is it's just one stock. That's why it's kind of perfect for a little bit newer folks. Like, hey, I'm just going to focus on trading Amazon, and and it's awesome. Love the solo Amazon service. If you're ready to get in there now, shoot me an email and I can send you the link to join. I just don't feel like, confusing people in this brief as we talk about that stuff. Okay. Real quick, since my phone's buzzed about 3 times, that means some annual members are joining. This is what the membership area looks like, folks. Full Throttle, Accelerated Retirement, solo Amazon, getting started. There's the options weapons school training in there. This stuff is awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, folks, hour and a half. That went way too long. My apologies, but I had to do that half an hour intro at the beginning. That'll be the last time this week we're talking like that. Had to get that out of the way. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we're going. I'm going to treat you like you're already joined up and we're trading immediately. Not when we get in there. Still got to do my SOT, right? Strategic, operational, tactical. Yeah, that means annual memberships are going. Once we get to 50, folks, I'm done. I'll still do the trade briefs since I invited you, but once we get to 50, you will not be able to join after. Full Throttle does not include Solo Amazon. You want the link now for Solo Amazon? Let me go get it. Let me go .TOPGUN options. Let me go get it, folks, since some people want to join Solo Amazon right now. I forget what it is. You're hitting me up before I'm ready for you, Solo Amazon. But yeah, let me go grab it. If you must have Solo Amazon. I strongly recommend, if you're going to do Solo Amazon, that you do the annual membership. You're going to save 2 months. Do the annual over the monthly. If you do the monthly, it's more expensive. But where is it? Sites, websites. Let me find this. Memberships, sites, opt-in funnels. You know what, folks? I don't have it here. What the hell is this Solo Amazon? Yes, Karen. Lifetime includes all that stuff. Yes, you got Solo, Full Throttle, everything. Yep. Hang on one second. Let me go ask my marketing lady. Give me 1 second and I will find it for you. Trying to find it. Wasn't prepared to. Products. There it is. I think I found it. All right, 1 second. Let me find it here. Campaign. If I don't, wait, I think I might have it. Hang on 1 second here. Annual, monthly. Please email me info for lifetime. Okay. Hang on, I'm getting a Solo link, folks. Yeah, I'll email you the lifetime info. Strongly recommend people do the annual Full Throttle though, folks. And when you do the Solo Amazon, make sure you take the upsell, folks. It is for the training. I think it's like $295 to do the training. All right, 1 second, folks. I'm getting it right now. Yeah. So it's 97 a month or $990 a year or something like that. But there is also take the training there. There it is. Sweet. There it is. Sorry. Here we go. 97 bucks a month, folks. You can start in here if you want. There it is right there. There we go. 97. Down here, you save 2 months if you do the annual. You save 2 months if you do the annual. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. Or you can just kick the tires right here, folks. Okay. If you want to do 97 bucks a month. Doesn't go up, ain't no surprise next month. Hey, it's $1 million next month. It's 97 bucks a month. Awesome, Tom. Welcome aboard. Tom just joined annual. That's great. You'll love Solo Amazon, folks. Hopefully everybody, you take the training. When you take the training, folks, go in here to OWS Options Weapons School and start watching. Download your workbooks. Okay. Go get your workbooks downloaded over here on the right. There's all your workbooks and stuff. And then start watching your Options Weapons School training right here, man. All of them. Okay. Everybody good? Everybody understand what we're doing here? OWS, Options Weapons School. Cool. Oh, you joined last week. Awesome. Great. So Tom clearly attended our Options Weapons School, the free sessions last week. That's great to hear. Folks, here's the link one more time to go watch the first 3 free weapons school sessions from last week. They are right there. Basics of calls and puts and the wheel tactic. Those are free. The rest of them you got to join for, okay? Claudio, why would you choose solo instead of accelerated retirement? I'm assuming accelerated retirement would cover more than just Amazon. Yeah, Claudio, it does. So accelerated retirement, we cover a whole host of different stocks, not just, we don't cover Amazon in accelerated retirement. We cover other stuff in accelerated retirement. So, but that's the difference is I strongly recommend people don't focus on a ton of different names. I strongly recommend that you focus on one or a handful. There are people who have like 33 positions, man, and don't even know half the companies that are in their portfolios. Do not do that. That's what I'm getting at. Accelerated retirement, like Warren Buffett said, diversification is a protection against ignorance. If you know what you're doing, you don't diversify. Just trade Amazon. If you want to spread your chips around the table a little bit more, do accelerated retirement. If you want a little bit more variety. So that's why we have both of those services. Okay. Awesome. You got it, Tom. Trust me. Diversification makes no sense if you know what you're doing. Yeah, and at the bottom of the Options Weapons School replay page, where you get the first 3 sessions free, are also you can join, on that page as well. Just scroll down there, okay? All right, folks, I went way too long. The next ones, the rest of the week will not be this long. We're going to get in and we're going to start trading. Edward, what's accelerated retirement? We'll talk about that later in the week, right? That's one of the, I think that's Thursday's trade brief, okay? We look at more conservative trades, Edward. I love the name Edward. Edward. Longer dated trades. We look at the psychedelic sector. So accelerated retirement is focused on longer dated trades and conservative names. Solo Amazon, just Amazon. Technically, in today's brief, you are in what is called the primary trade brief. Okay. So I'll explain this all as the week goes on. Okay. And a lot of you are actually joining right now, which is fantastic. Reminder, only 50. We will not take more than 50 people. So once we get the 50-day slots, we're going to close. So people are already buying, which is great. But like I said, if I get 50 before Thursday, I'm still going to do all the briefs because I do this anyway for a living. But once we hit 50 members, we are done. And based on how we're looking so far, it's going to be, we might be filled up pretty quickly. All right, guys, I got to go. I will post the replay if you came in here late on this page. This is an old session 1 on here, obviously, because I'm still in the brief right now. So it's going to take me about a half an hour for the replay to render, and then it will be posted on that page. Okay, go.topgunoptions.com/FT-replay. All right, guys, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged. Fights on. Namaste. Welcome aboard Full Throttle. We had a great time today. We're going to have a great week ahead. And folks, hopefully you can tell I'm very passionate about what I do. This is, if you've been wandering around the financial training desert for a while, you found a home, I guarantee you. All right, fights on. Namaste. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Cheers.